You were 22 years old at the time,
Okay.
and you saw that everything you had fought so hard for in your entire life and your education, you saw that going away with the Taliban entering Kabul. So what was your move?
We finally made it to the airport through Abbey Gate. And when we got inside the airport, that was when I got to know that, okay, I'm gonna board a Ukrainian flight.
Do you speak Ukrainian? Do you speak Russian?
Oh,
At the time?
At that time, no. I had no idea of what Kiev looked like. And
Did you have any money? Did you have any friends?
I literally didn't know anyone in Kiev, literally, and I was on street when I got that call to get to the airport, and I had nothing with me, and
you still had your backpack and your laptop.
I had my backpack,
But that's it.
Yeah, that was it.
And the clothes on your back.
Yeah, and the clothes that I was wearing, I had that with me. But
so what happened? You get to Kiev. What happened when you got there to the Ukraine?
yeah, so we arrived to Boryspil airport, and after a week of we even couldn't take showers during that week, and then we're so tired and we needed to refresh, and we were hungry. And we were warmly welcomed by Wall Street Journal team there, and then I spent around a week in hotel with Wall Street Journal team. But afterward, I had to leave because I was not working with Wall Street Journal at that time. They just did this favor to me and evacuated me, and I had to figure out everything on my own after that. And that was when I got in touch with my a professor from the university, and I asked for help. That I don't know anyone here. What should I do? And he put me in touch with you. and I think that was the first time that we first communicated through email. Yeah, I remember that was through email. And then I couldn't believe that how someone could immediately respond email and immediately offer help. That at that time that looked too good to believe. Jessie, is she really genuine and helping me? And then and I've been receiving the support during these 6 months, and that was very easy for me to stay in Kiev because I was getting familiar with the environment, and I was making friends, and also through other connections from American consuls that I shared with you, that I was their alumni from long time ago. They also had an office there in Kiev, and that was very quick for me to make friends there and make connections there. And the weather was, getting cold, and I had a safe place and warm place to stay, thanks to you. And afterward, I was just trying not to let the Kabul chaos affect me mentally, and because to me still, Taliban in Kabul seems like a very temporary thing. It's not gonna last forever, because we are going to go back and we are going to change it.
And that's what actually struck me so much about you, is that when all of the chaos was happening, we were trying to find you an apartment, we had you in a hotel for a while, and you asked me to write you a recommendation for school. You were laser focused. You had left your family that you were the primary breadwinner of. You had left your friends, you came to the Ukraine with no language background, and you asked me to write you one of the first recommendations that I wrote for your group to be able to continue your education. And that to me was, you just have had your eye on the ball. At Galavante in the World, we are a foundation that was created in response to what happened to you and what happened to your classmates and what's happening to the women of Afghanistan. And I can say that writing a rent check was the easiest thing because you've just taken care of everything else yourself. You're an incredibly strong woman who has just found her way no matter what. And the irony is that you found your way to the Ukraine. And I'd love for you to share, we started having discussions. We had you in Kyiv. We started having discussions about 1 month ago about how we should probably move you closer to the Poland border. And where did you end up?
When I was in Kiev, the first time that I heard about Russia and Ukraine conflict was when I was walking a street with my friend from Wall Street Journal, and I was seeing pictures of martyrs of 2014. And then I got to know that, so this country has also been through war. And the apartment that I was staying in Kiev that you supported me with, it was next to a military base. And since the beginning of all these tensions between Russia and Ukraine, I was hearing soldiers practicing every morning. And I was talking to my Ukrainian friends, I was talking to my Latvian friends that this kind of seems concerning. And they were trying to, calm me down, saying, oh no, nothing will happen. Russia is a poor nation, and then you will be fine in Kiev. Kiev is safe. Stay in Kiev. But then, after around 2 months, things got heated up. Everything was just not, calming down, but more heated up. After the news of U.S. troops withdrawal, there were many explosions on the streets and car bomb blasts. And I was thinking that what if anything happens to me on the street, I should have something with me. I should have a note with me, a pocket note that says that my name is this, and this is my blood type, and this is my emergency contact in case anything happens to me, because I didn't have any family member in Kabul, but I had friends, and if anything happens on the street on me, and there should be someone to just collect me.
That was a very scary time. That was around the time that I was actually in Kabul, when all the foreign journalists were pulled out. I was one of the few Americans that the State Department and the Secretary of Defense of Asia had allowed back into Afghanistan at that time. So I know that it was a very crazy time with the security issues and the increasing threats of the Taliban. And for you to take that experience, and now all of a sudden you're in Ukraine and you hear that this could happen again, that must have been devastating.
Devastating, and everything was so real, and that was a time that I even didn't have the time to be sad. I didn't have the time to cry for myself that I am going through this, and that was the time that I had to think about solutions.
You and I talked. Your birthday was what day?
It was on 23rd of February.
23rd of February. We exchanged birthday wishes.
Yeah.
That day. You were already in Lviv because we had moved you from Kyiv to Lviv to an apartment there. And then the next day, the Russians invaded.
I was close to border to Poland. Well, Lviv has a border with
70 miles to the border of Poland, which is why we had you in Lviv.
Yeah, that was a very smart move at that time, because that was so similar to the situation in Afghanistan that I was in. I was stuck in Herat, and I couldn't move from Herat to Kabul. So this time I didn't want to.
You didn't want to be in that situation.
In the same situation, and I immediately shared that with you, and then thanks to you,
we got you hustled out of there. Next place. But I'd love for you to share that apartment building that we had you at for 5 months in Kyiv. Where is that apartment building today?
And just the day before yesterday, I received a call from a friend from Wall Street Journal who works in security section. He is still in Kiev and helping people to get out of Kiev. He called me and told me that, do you remember the apartment that you were staying in Kiev? I said, yeah. He said that it got blown up because that was next to a military base, and Russia is attacking military stations and military bases. And the apartment that I was living in is gone now. It's not there.
That was a 2.5 week difference from the time that we moved you out of Kyiv to Lviv, and 2.5 weeks later, that apartment building is gone. And that to me was a really big reality check, that we had just gotten you out. And so it's not like you're even just an observer in war. The place you lived for 5 months is no longer there. So I'd love for you to share, because today we're in Warsaw. We've had a lot of good laughs since we finally have been reunited here. And the Polish people have been, I have gratitude forever to people in Poland because of what they've done for you since you've come here. And unlike what happened in Afghanistan, where the Uzbekistan border, Pakistan, all of the borders around Afghanistan closed to anyone from Afghanistan, I think it's pretty extraordinary that you were brought here by a Polish volunteer. Now you're here.
Yeah.
And it's really beautiful. You see on the streets here all over Warsaw, there are Ukrainian and Polish flags, like on all of the lights in the city. And there's so much welcoming and so much support. And you're welcomed. You have a host mom who is watching over you, which makes me feel really good because you're not alone anymore.
Yeah, it was very quick for me to make connections here because Polish people are very welcoming. And they're really kind, and it's very easy to make friends here. And also, obviously, the language barrier is there, but still, I can see so many people who can speak English, and then at the same time teach me Polish.
Yes.
I've already learned a few words.
What's thank you again?
It's dziękuję.
See,
In Polish,
you even have the accent.
Dziękuję. The accent, but I think that I'll be quick in learning Polish. That I was just thinking that my war story is not my real story. It's just a temporary phase that I went through, and it doesn't define me. I have much more to tell. I have much more to accomplish. And in this, I'm not alone. I have supportive people like you beside me who help me to reach my goals, my academic goals, and I wouldn't call that dream, my plan of going back to my home country and bring the positive change that I want to bring. I believe that Afghan students, despite all hardships that they're going through, I mean, I've been comparing international students with Afghan students, that, you know, despite all hardships, despite financial problems, despite security problems, cultural norm, they still manage to compete with international students, and they still manage to get scholarships and get quality education, and they don't let these hurdles prevent them from what they want to get.
Masouma, I know that you are the future of Afghanistan. I know that had you and your classmates just been a little bit older and had been the people who were in charge of the government, that the Taliban would never have stood a chance against you as leaders. And this is what we do at our foundation. We are focused on one project at a time, and our project is the Afghanistan project. We are going to continue to follow your story because your story is just beginning. And I made a promise to you when I first got here to Warsaw a few days ago, because Masouma, you are holding things together more than I've ever seen anyone hold things together for what you've been through in the past 2 months. People should not be through war once in their life. You've been through it twice, and you've survived. And I know that there is so much more ahead for you, that the universe has a plan for you specifically. So we're going to continue to follow your story. And I hope that story is the next phase in the United States, because you have a scholarship to where?
To Rutgers University in New Jersey, and yeah, hopefully I can get my student visa here in Warsaw, and then next we meet in the USA.
We will.
Yeah, we will, hopefully.
But I do hope in the meantime you end up enjoying this incredible place, and we are always going to support you. Your family forever, Masouma. After everything we've been through this past 6 months together, you're family, and I'm just so proud of you.
Thank you. It's just for the support that I've been receiving from you, and also other people around me, Ukrainians who helped me to get through hardships when I was in Ukraine, and I think that I have been very lucky that I had so many good people on my way.
It is your energy, Masouma, and you deserve every bit of it. We're going to be praying for the people in the Ukraine because of what's happened there, and I only hope that there comes a time of peace really soon. So thank you all for joining us for our Galavante in the World update, and thank you for all your support, because without you, we could not do the work of helping exceptional individuals like Masouma be able to realize her potential. Masouma, I'm so proud of you. You are someone who has the world at the tip of their fingers, and the universe has something so special in store for you. And if I could just do a small part to support you in any way, I'm always going to be here for you.